Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Patriot Nation TV. I'm your host, Tim Davis, a New Age Patriot with a 1776 attitude. Just one man, one opinion, trying to make sense of it all. It's July 9th, 2021. We the people, wake up. Wake up, America. We are under assault. We have pure evil living in the White House and roaming the halls of our Capitol. Pure evil in our federal agencies. And we can't forget to mention governors too, especially my governor, Emperor Cuomo from New Yorkistan. Pure evil, folks. Pure evil. Wake up. Joe, the tyrant Biden's evil is looking us right in the face. He wants government agents to go door to door to get vaccines or give vaccines to people who haven't or are refusing to get it. Or they will be put on a list. Did not see that coming. Definitely did not see that coming. It's segregation 2.0 under the guise of public health. It's medical tyranny 101. It also brings me to the junk science I did videos on in the past. Now we have Fauci finally made an appearance today because Pfizer is saying they want a booster shot for the vaccine, and now it's debating on what science is real, what science isn't real, even though Pfizer made the vaccine. Pfizer's doing everything to it. Fauci is saying, listen to the CDC and FDA, even though the FDA did not approve of it, he's using it. Wake up, people. Don't pay attention to the words, pay attention to the action. This brings me to think about it. 16 months or 17 months ago, we went from flattening the curve in 14 days to going door to door to see your papers. You gotta admit, I'm gonna admit it, I already knew though. I knew it was coming. I posted videos 6 months ago about it. I knew it was coming. But if you didn't know it was coming, you gotta admit, you did not see that one coming. It's Nazism 101. And you're falling for it and you're allowing it to happen. Just on the White House website, thewhitehouse.gov, Joe the tyrant Biden says this: now we need to go to community by community, neighborhood by neighborhood, and oftentimes door to door. What does he mean by door to door? Literally knocking on doors to get help to those remaining people protected from the virus. So if they're saying 67-70% of the population is vaccinated, what are they afraid of the 30% or whatever, 37% that who aren't? What's that about? What do you care? And another thing is, it's funny how the HIPAA laws just got tossed by the wayside. Just like that. It's total BS, folks. Junk science. Speaking of junk science, did videos on that also in the past. We now have the Dr. Fauci came out today with the CDC and claiming to use the FDA as a background or companion to his buffoonery, even though the vaccines are not FDA approved. He's saying listen to the CDC and FDA guidelines. So there's a battle now between science. I always said it was junk science. You have Pfizer, who made these vaccines and are giving them up for free. They're saying there needs to be a booster because during their studies, which have not been FDA approved yet, saying there needs to be a booster to the vaccine 6 months after your second shot. And Fauci today comes on TV and says, don't listen to that. So now we have science battling against each other. Junk science, real science, who knows? But it's all liberal buffoonery. New World Order buffoonery. And the news media is still playing along with the narrative. Remember, folks, the news, the media, is the only profession that is constitutionally protected under the First Amendment. The news media has violated, abused, and took advantage of that right. The news media, the news is not about news anymore. It's about protecting some people, destroying others, and shoving a socialist agenda down the collective throats of America. Nazism 101. Did not see that coming. Quick little examples. Things that the White House reporters don't have time for. Questions about Hunter Biden's laptop, rampant inflation, NSA spying on journalists. Tucker Carlson comes to mind. The border out of control. Billions of pounds of fentanyl coming across compared to last year at this time. But don't worry. Things the White House reporters do have time for is Biden's favorite ice cream, free cookies, singing happy birthday to each other on TV, and so on and so on. It's one big mirage. It's one big joke. And you're falling for it. At least half the population is. The population that isn't falling for it is being labeled nationalists, conspiracy theories, radicals, or whatever you want to call it. But people wake up, we're on the brink. We're on the brink. Our schools are in shambles. The teachers' unions are just battling. Now they're going to war with the parents. And they got the full backing of the federal government. The Department of Education. They're going to full war. They're blatantly saying it. Parents are overwhelmingly coming to meetings saying they don't want the CRT, critical race thinking, and all this other stuff. And they're telling these people, we don't want this. And then you got Randy Weinberg, whatever her name is, on national TV the other day. And it doesn't matter. We're going to use the full force of the union and da-da-da-da-da-da. Taxpayers' money to fight parents about what's taught in school. Scary times, folks. Now, not to get personal or be offensive to anybody, because one man, one opinion. I don't care what your lifestyle is, what you choose to do in life. Behind closed doors, that's your business. But when you openly shove it down my throat, my family's throat, my peers' throat, on TV, no matter where we go, we live in a society. I have a problem with that. And we all see it. It ain't gonna work. It's gonna backfire. We live in a society, and like I said, I don't care what you do in life. It doesn't bother me. I could be your friend. I could whatever. As long as it ain't forced upon me and my tax dollars are paying for it, then it becomes my problem. And this brings me to what I want to say now. We live in a society where homosexuals, sodomites, whatever you want to call them, lecture us on morals. Transvestites lecture us on human biology. Baby killers lecture us on human rights. And socialists lecture us on economics. Imagine that. Only makes sense in the Twilight Zone or a liberal utopia. So I'm going to say this. The war on men, white Christian men, conservative men in particularly, but not just them, but all men in general who are conservative, white, black, Asian, Jew, whatever, Christian, whatever you want to call it, is a war on us. toxic masculinity is whatever they call it. I was going to say this to our teachers, our educators, our tyrants. If there is no room in our schools, in our classrooms, if there is no room in our schools and culture for boys who act like boys, we need to fix our schools or abolish them completely. And our culture, not our boys. Boys are going to be boys, regardless. So now this brings me to another thing about this Joe the Tyrant Biden and his assault on America. It's going to be my last little point, I guess. Happened a couple weeks ago. I had a couple videos I was going to do, but I didn't do it. I've been very busy. So I haven't seen you guys in a couple weeks. I guess we got to go back 2.5 weeks ago. Joe the Tyrant Biden, including Emperor Cuomo of New Yorkistan, their war on the Second Amendment. So this is funny. This is funny. This is where it gets interesting. Joe the Tyrant's America, he mocks the Second Amendment. He did a couple weeks ago. He mocked the Second Amendment. He misquotes Thomas Jefferson many times. He wants to limit the type of firearms. He calls them assault weapons. He says government has, that's what he says. He's sounding like he's reaching to the Clinton administration on banning semi-automatics. It's a straw man. It's a straw man argument. Along with Obama's rhetoric on saying nukes and F-15 tanks, etc., trying to make people look crazy. Police stations in North Carolina was attacked, New York City, and so on and so on. Yet, we hear nothing about Hunter Biden. What about Hunter Biden's falsified documents for having a firearm, a pistol? Remember, people, we need guns because we don't trust criminals, number one, and we don't trust our government. So going on to this Second Amendment thing, Joe the Tyrant Biden says, you need more than a Second Amendment to fight a tyrannical government. This is what he's saying to us. He's openly saying this. You need more than a Second Amendment to fight tyrannical government. So he's admitting there's a tyrannical government, and you need more than a Second Amendment to fight them. Right? That's what he's saying. So Biden says people need, in his argument, Biden says people need F-15s and nukes to take on the U.S. government. That's what he said. Ordinary weapons are non-sufficient. So how come a couple of hundred unarmed protesters, think about it, back to my original opening, so how come a couple of hundred unarmed protesters stand accused of seriously attempting on January 6th to overthrow the U.S. government? Unarmed citizens. And they're being held without bail, without charges, all under Barack Hussein Obama's NDAA Act. They're not saying it on TV. You're not going to hear it from any place else. You're going to hear it from right here because that's what it's falling under. Nobody's reporting why they're being charged, what they're being charged of, why there's no bail, why there's no lawyers, no nothing. I talked about this years ago. Rand Paul talked about it. Ron Paul talked about it. Many other, Ted Cruz talked about it, the NDAA Act. Even Rachel Maddow, whatever her name is, she talked about it. Indefinite detention centers for U.S. citizens. The NDAA Act is the Patriot Act on steroids. People, wake up. And it's getting pretty dicey out there, guys. Wake up. As the great Thomas Sowell would say, I love Thomas Sowell, great man, great American. It is hard to imagine a more stupid, or a more dangerous way of making decisions than by putting those decisions in the hands of people who pay no price for being wrong. None of these government officials, elected officials, are being held accountable. None of these bureaucrats are being held accountable. None of these tyrants enforcing the law. None of these tyrants who are creating laws and having their agents of tyranny enforce these laws being held accountable. It's not. Wake up, America. We're losing our country. And we're losing it rapidly. It's been going on for decades. But now it's just blatant. It's right in front of us. It's right in our face. It's right in our face. And we're losing it. And now I see all these white people out here. Yeah, I'm going to say white people. Yeah, whatever. You know, I'm going to say this to you white people. To all you white people apologizing for the past, speak for yourselves. I myself, me one man, one opinion, did nothing to apologize for. And I will never apologize. That's just me one man, one opinion. So folks, that's my little rant, my little 15, 16 minute rant on what's going on. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it wakes you up a little bit. Share the message. Please hit like, hit subscribe, hit the red bell, get my notifications. I could really use the support. And so like I always say, in ending, God bless you, God bless America. And I will talk to you guys soon. Peace. God bless.